The afternoon sun beat down on Computer Village like a hammer on iron. Tunde wiped sweat from his forehead with the back of his hand, his fingers stained with ink from counting naira notes all day. His POS kiosk sat wedged between a phone repair shop and a woman selling plantain chips, just another wooden box among hundreds in the sprawling electronics market of Ikeja. "Oga, how much you go collect for 10,000 transfer?" A man in a faded Arsenal jersey leaned against the counter. 150, Tunde replied without looking up from his phone. He was scrolling through WhatsApp, half watching a video Kemi had sent him, something about a new church program she wanted them to attend together. Yesterday you collect 100 naira oh. Why you increase am? Network wala, my brother. If you know like MTN office day down the road. Tunde finally looked up, his expression tired but not unkind. This was Lagos. Everyone was hustling, everyone was tired, and everyone had a complaint about prices. The man sucked his teeth and walked away. Tunde returned to his phone, thumbs moving to reply to Kemi, "Babe, which Sunday? I fit try, please. Please, help me." The voice cut through the market noise like a blade. Tunde looked up to see a woman stumbling toward his kiosk, her expensive braids disheveled, her white blouse torn at the shoulder. She clutched a black Gucci bag against her chest, the kind of bag that cost more than Tunde made in 6 months. "Madam, you dey okay?" Tunde stood up, instinctively concerned. She crashed against his counter, breathing hard, eyes wild with fear. Up close, he could see she was beautiful despite the terror carved into her features, high cheekbones, perfectly shaped eyebrows, skin like polished mahogany. But those eyes were the eyes of a haunted animal. "They're coming," she gasped. I need you to clear my tracks." "Madam, I no understand." She shoved the Gucci bag onto his counter. The zipper was partially open, and Tunde's breath caught in his throat. Inside were bundles of crisp naira notes, more money than he'd ever seen in one place. 500 naira notes, bound with rubber bands, stacked so tight the bag could barely close. "Keep it," she said urgently, glancing over her shoulder. "Keep it safe. Delete my transaction history from your system. All of it. Everything from the past 3 weeks." "Madam, I can't just, please." Her hand shot out and grabbed his wrist. Her palm was cold despite the heat. "They'll kill me if they find those records. They'll kill you too if they think you know anything. Just clear it. Pretend I was never here." Who will kill?" The kicking a pep screeched to a stop beside his kiosk, its 3-wheeled frame wobbling. The driver, a thin man with tribal marks on his cheeks, shouted, "Oya now. Move quick." The woman released Tunde's wrist and grabbed his face with both hands, forcing him to look directly into her terrified eyes. 3 weeks. Delete everything. Don't touch the money until I come back. Do you hear me? Don't touch it." Then she was gone, jumping into the tricycle, which lurched forward into the chaos of Lagos traffic and disappeared between 2 Danfo buses. Tunde stood frozen, staring at the bag on his counter. Around him, the market continued its usual symphony, generators humming, vendors shouting prices, Afrobeats blasting from a speaker somewhere. No one had noticed. In Computer Village, everyone was too busy minding their own business to pay attention to someone else's trouble. His phone buzzed. "Kemi, Tunde. You there?" He looked at the bag. At his phone. At the bag again, slowly, like a man in a dream. He pulled the bag under his counter and shoved it into the metal cabinet where he kept his backup charger and lunch money. His hands were shaking. He sat down heavily on his stool, his heart hammering against his ribs like it wanted to escape his chest. The smart thing, the right thing, would be to take the bag straight to the police. But this was Lagos. The police would ask questions. They'd want to know why a woman gave him millions of naira. They'd want a cut. Or worse, they'd think he was involved in whatever this was. His phone buzzed again. Kemi was calling now. "Hello, baby," he answered, trying to keep his voice steady. "You just ignored my message, oh. What's happening?" Nothing. Just busy day." Okay. Don't forget we're supposed to go see my parents on Saturday." "Saturday?" "Yes. I remember." He didn't remember. Couldn't remember anything except those bundles of cash and that woman's terrified eyes. "Tunde, you sound strange. Are you sure you're okay?" "I'm fine, Kemi. I'm fine. Just network wahala with the POS. Let me call you back, okay?" He hung up before she could respond, immediately feeling guilty. 5 years they'd been together. 5 years of her patience, her support through the hard times when his business was barely breaking even. And now he was lying to her, but what choice did he have? Tunde opened his laptop, an old HP that took 3 minutes to boot up on a good day. His hands hovered over the keyboard. The woman had said 3 weeks. He navigated to his transaction records, fingers trembling over the delete key. Who was she? What had she done? And why had she chosen his kiosk out of hundreds in this market? The question spiraled in his head as the late afternoon sun cast long shadows across Computer Village. Somewhere in the distance, a police siren wailed. Tunde flinched, his hand unconsciously moving toward the cabinet where the bag was hidden. This was how trouble started in Lagos. Not with dramatic explosions or gunfights, but with a moment. A choice. A bag of money on a Thursday afternoon, and Tunde, ordinary Tunde who just wanted to marry Kemi and maybe save enough to open a proper shop instead of this kiosk. Tunde had just made the wrong choice. He knew it in his bones, but he pressed delete anyway. 3 days passed. 3 days of Tunde jumping every time someone approached his kiosk. 3 days of checking over his shoulder. 3 days of the bag sitting in his cabinet like a ticking bomb. On Sunday evening, after Kemi had dragged him to her parents' house in Surulere, where he'd smiled and nodded through dinner while her father talked about marriage responsibilities, Tunde sat alone in his one-room apartment in Yoba. The bag was on his bed. He'd finally brought it home, unable to leave it in the kiosk over the weekend. He'd counted it 3 times. Each count coming to the same impossible number, 4.7 million naira, enough to change his life. Enough to pay off the debt on his kiosk. Enough to give Kemi a proper wedding. Enough to, his phone rang. Unknown number. "Hello. Tunde Adeyemi." It wasn't a question. The voice was male, deep, with a Yoruba accent underneath the English. "You have something that belongs to us." Tunde's blood turned to ice water. Who is this?" "Don't play stupid." "The woman. The bag. We know she came to you." "I don't know what you're talking about." Kiosk 47B, Computer Village. Between Chokudi's phone repair and Momandozi's plantain stand. You close at 7 p.m. every day except Sunday. You live at 23 Akoka Road, Yoba. Ground floor, the room with the blue curtain. Should I continue? Tunde couldn't breathe. His hand gripped the phone so hard his knuckles went white. What do you want?" "Our money." "Obviously." The man's voice was calm, almost bored. "And we want to know what she told you. What she gave you besides the cash." "Nothing. She didn't tell me anything. She just left the bag and ran away." "I swear to God, then you won't mind returning it." "Tomorrow. 6 p.m. there's a Chicken Republic in Ikeja. You know, the one opposite the stadium. Come alone. Bring everything. And if I go to the police?" The man laughed, a sound like grinding metal. "You deleted transaction records for a wanted criminal. You kept 4.7 million naira that doesn't belong to you. You think the police will believe you're innocent? No, my friend. You're already in this. The only question is whether you get out alive." The line went dead. Tunde sat on his bed, staring at the bag, his mind racing. The woman was wanted. The money was stolen. And somehow, In the space of 5 minutes on a Thursday afternoon, he'd become an accomplice to something bigger and more dangerous than he could have imagined. He thought about running, packing what he could carry and disappearing into Lagos's 20 million people. But they knew where he lived. They knew where he worked. They probably knew about Kemi. His phone rang again. This time, it was her. Tunde, we need to talk. Kemi, now is not a good time, no. Now. I'm outside your door. Panic seized him. He shoved the bag under his bed and opened the door. Kemi stood there in jeans and a white tank top, her arms crossed, her expression somewhere between worried and angry. What's going on with you? She demanded, pushing past him into the room. Nothing, I told you, you've been acting strange all week. You barely talked at my parents' house. You keep checking your phone like you're expecting bad news. And when I asked Biodon at the shop next to your kiosk if everything was okay, he said some woman came to see you on Thursday and you've been paranoid ever since. Biodon talks too much, Tunde. She grabbed his shoulders, forcing him to look at her. I've known you for 5 years. I know when something is wrong. Talk to me. Please. He wanted to tell her. God, he wanted to tell her everything. But the words stuck in his throat. If he told her, she'd be in danger too. These people, whoever they were, they didn't play games. They knew where he lived. They could find out about Kemi just as easily. It's nothing, baby. Just stress. Business has been slow, don't lie to me. Her voice cracked. Don't you dare lie to me. They stood there in the tiny room, the evening lights filtering through the blue curtain, the sounds of Lagos filtering in through the window, car horns, gospel music from a nearby church, someone shouting about pure water. All the normal sounds of home. But nothing felt normal anymore. I can't tell you, Tunde finally said. Not because I don't want to, but because I need to protect you. Protect me from what? From me. From the mistake I made. Kemi's eyes filled with tears. What did you do, Tunde? Before he could answer, his phone buzzed. A text message from another unknown number. Don't even think about telling her. We are watching. Tunde felt the walls of his small room closing in. They were watching. Right now. Someone outside could see into his window, could see him standing with Kemi, he moved quickly, pulling the curtain closed. Tunde, you're scaring me. You need to go. What? Please, Kemi. Just go home. I'll explain everything soon. I promise. But right now, I need you to go. She stared at him like he was a stranger. Maybe he was. Maybe the man standing in this room, paranoid and desperate and trapped, wasn't the same Tunde she'd fallen in love with. Fine, she said quietly. But when you're ready to stop shutting me out, you know where to find me. She left, and the sound of the door closing behind her was the loneliest sound Tunde had ever heard. He pulled out the bag from under the bed and stared at it. 4.7 million naira. Blood money. Dirty money. Money that had already cost him his peace and might cost him everything else. Tomorrow at 6 p.m., he was supposed to hand it over. But something the man on the phone had said bothered him. We want to know what she told you. What she gave you besides the cash. They thought the woman had given him something else. Information, maybe. Evidence. Which meant she wasn't just running from them. She was fighting back. Tunde opened his laptop and pulled up his deleted transaction history from the backup file he kept, the one the woman didn't know about, the one he maintained in case of audits. His eyes scanned the entries from the past 3 weeks, looking for anything unusual there. A pattern. The same account number, receiving transfers from dozens of different sources. Small amounts, never more than 50,000 naira at a time, but frequent. Multiple times a day. And the account name, Grace Adinka. Tunde grabbed his phone and did what he should have done 3 days ago. He googled the name. The first result made his stomach drop. It was a news article from 2 weeks ago. EFCC raids online fraud syndicate, one operative still at large. And there, in the grainy photo accompanying the article, was the woman. Grace Adinka. Wanted in connection with a romance scam operation that had defrauded victims of over 200 million naira, but the article said something else too. Something that made Tunde read it 3 times to make sure he understood. Grace Adinka had allegedly contacted EFCC herself, claiming she wanted to turn state witness and expose the syndicate's leadership in exchange for immunity. She wasn't just running. She was cooperating with the government, and now Tunde was in the middle of it. His phone rang. He almost didn't answer, but the number was local, not hidden. Hello. Mr. Adeyemi. This is Inspector Okonkwo from the Economic and Financial Crimes Commission. I'd like to ask you a few questions about the transaction at your POS terminal. Tunde closed his eyes. This was it. The moment his life officially fell apart. What kind of questions? The kind better asked in person. Can you come to our office tomorrow morning? Say, 9 a.m. Yes. Yes, I can do that. Good. Don't be late. And Mr. Adeyemi, don't leave Lagos. We'll be monitoring your movements. The inspector hung up. Tunde sat in the darkness of his room, the bag of money at his feet, the weight of his choices pressing down on him like the entire city of Lagos balanced on his shoulders. The syndicate wanted the money back at 6 p.m. The EFCC wanted to question him at 9 a.m. Kemi wanted answers he couldn't give. And somewhere out there, Grace Adinka was either dead or planning something that might save them both or get them both killed. He had less than 12 hours to figure out which path led to survival. Tunde didn't sleep that night. He sat at his small table, staring at his laptop screen, reading everything he could find about the syndicate Grace had been involved with. The operation was sophisticated: fake investment platforms, romance scams targeting diaspora Nigerians, even cryptocurrency fraud. The EFCC had arrested 7 people 2 weeks ago, but the alleged ringleader, a man known only as Chairman, had vanished. As dawn broke over Lagos, painting the sky in shades of orange and purple, Tunde made a decision. He wouldn't go to the EFCC office. Not yet. First, he needed to understand what Grace had really given him. Because if the syndicate was this desperate to get it back, and the EFCC was monitoring his movements, there had to be more than just money in that bag. He dumped the contents on his bed. Bundles of cash. He'd counted them already. But now he looked closer, feeling the weight of each bundle, checking for inconsistencies there. The bottom bundle felt different. Heavier. Harder. He unwrapped the rubber bands. Nestled in the center of the Naira notes was a small thumb drive, wrapped in plastic. Tunde's hands trembled as he plugged it into his laptop. One folder. Dozens of files. Spreadsheets with account numbers, names, transaction histories. Video recordings of meetings. Audio files. Photos of documents. This wasn't just evidence. This was enough to bring down the entire operation. Grace hadn't just been running. She'd built a case. And she'd hidden it in the one place they'd think to look but wouldn't dare search thoroughly, a bag full of money being held by a random POS operator. She'd made him an unwitting custodian of the syndicate's destruction. His phone rang. Unknown number. He almost didn't answer, but something told him this wasn't the syndicate. Tunde. It was Grace's voice, barely above a whisper. You found it. How did you? I've been watching your apartment. I saw your lights on all night. I knew you'd figure it out. You're smarter than you look. Where are you? Somewhere safe. For now. Listen carefully. The EFCC wants me to testify, but they can't protect me from Chairman. He has people inside the commission. That's why I couldn't just hand over the evidence. I needed someone outside the system. Someone nobody would suspect. So you chose me. A random POS guy. Not random. I researched you. 3 years running your kiosk, No criminal record, engaged to a school teacher, church member. You're clean. That's what I needed. Clean. You ruined my life. No. I gave you a choice. And now I'm giving you another one. She paused, and he could hear traffic in the background, horns honking, the sound of a Lagos morning. That meeting tonight. The one at Chicken Republic. Don't go. They'll kill me if I don't show up. They'll kill you if you do. The plan is to take the money and then eliminate you as a witness. That's how chairman operates. No loose ends. Then what do I do? There's a journalist. Neoma Okafor. She writes for Premium Times. She's been investigating the syndicate for 6 months. Give her everything on that drive. She'll publish it. Once it's public, we are both safer. They can't kill what everyone already knows. And the EFCC. They'll come for you anyway. But if the story breaks first, you become a hero instead of an accomplice. Trust me on this. Why should I trust you? You've done nothing but bring me trouble. Because right now, we're the only friends each other has. She hung up. Tunde sat there, processing. A journalist. Publication. Going public. It was insane. It was dangerous. It went against every instinct he had to keep his head down and stay out of trouble, but Grace was right. The syndicate would kill him whether he showed up tonight or not. And the EFCC would arrest him whether he cooperated or not. His only leverage was the truth. Loud. Public. Undeniable. His phone buzzed. Kemi, I know you said you need space, but I can't stop thinking about you. Whatever it is, we can face it together. I love you. Tunde felt something break inside his chest. She loved him. After everything, after his lies and his paranoia and his shutting her out, she still loved him. He couldn't let these people destroy that. Couldn't let them turn him into another casualty of Lagos's brutal ecosystem where good people got crushed between criminals and corrupt officials. He grabbed his phone and googled Neoma Okafor. Her articles came up immediately, hard-hitting investigative pieces on corruption, fraud, political scandals. She had a reputation for not backing down. For publishing stories other journalists were too afraid to touch. He found her email. His fingers hovered over the keyboard. This was it. The point of no return. Once he sent this, everything would change. The syndicate would know he'd betrayed them. The EFCC would know he'd gone around them. His quiet life, his simple dreams of marriage and a shop and Sunday dinners with Kemi's parents, all of it would be gone, but maybe, just maybe, he'd be alive to build something new from the ashes. He typed, Ms. Okafor, my name is Tunde Adeyemi. I have evidence of a massive fraud operation. I need to meet with you today. It's urgent. People's lives depend on it. He attached a single file from the drive, just enough to prove he wasn't crazy or wasting her time. He hit send, then he copied everything from the thumb drive to his email drafts, his cloud storage, every backup location he could think of. If something happened to him, if they found him before he could meet with the journalist, at least the evidence would survive. His phone rang again. This time, it was a number he recognized. Kemi. Hello. Tunde. I'm coming over. Don't try to stop me. I'm bringing breakfast, and we're going to sit down and talk like adults who love each other. Kemi, now is really not 20 minutes. Be there. She hung up. Tunde looked around his room. The bag of money on the bed. His laptop open with files that could get them both killed. His phone full of messages from people who wanted to use him or silence him or save him. 20 minutes. He had 20 minutes to decide how much to tell the woman he loved. How much danger to put her in. How much of the truth she deserved to know. He started packing the money back into the bag. Not because he planned to return it, but because he couldn't have it lying around when Kemi arrived. As he walked, his phone buzzed with a new email notification. Neoma Okafor had replied, Mr. Adeyemi, I just reviewed the file you sent. If you have more like this, we need to meet immediately. Not at my office. Not at your home. There's a restaurant in Ikeja, near the airport. Yellow Chili. Meet me there at 2 p.m. Come alone. And Mr. Adeyemi, watch your back. These people don't play. 2 p.m. That gave him time to talk to Kemi, explain what he could, and get to the restaurant. After that, whatever happened, happened. He'd done what he could. A knock at his door. Kemi, earlier than expected, holding a takeout bag from Mama Cass and 2 bottles of Coke. Okay, she said, pushing past him into the room. Talk. Now. Tell me everything. And because he loved her, because she deserved better than his lies, because she was the only good thing in his life he hadn't already ruined, he told her. He told her about Grace. About the money. About the thumb drive and the syndicate and the EFCC and the meeting with the journalist. He told her everything, watching her face cycle through disbelief, anger, fear, and finally, determination. When he finished, she set down her untouched food and looked at him with those steady eyes that had first made him fall in love with her 5 years ago. So you're going to meet this journalist? Yes. And you think they might try to stop you? Yes. Then we do it together. Kemi, no, Tunde, listen to me. She grabbed his hands. I'm a teacher. I spend every day trying to give those children a better future in this country. And I watch them grow up surrounded by corruption and fraud and people who think cheating is the only way to survive. If you have a chance to do something right, something that actually makes a difference, I'm not letting you face it alone. They could kill us. They could. Or we could be part of the story that brings them down. Either way, I'm not leaving you. Tunde pulled her into his arms, holding her like she was the only solid thing in a world that had turned to quicksand. She held him back, her breath warm against his neck, her heart beating against his chest. Okay, he whispered. Together. They sat on his bed, eating jollof rice and chicken in the growing morning light, making plans. Kemi would go to school like normal, then meet him at Yellow Chili at 2 p.m. Tunde would make copies of the drive, leave them with trusted friends in the market, insurance policies in case something went wrong. 80 noon, Tunde's phone rang. Inspector Okonkwo from the EFCC. Mr. Adeyemi, you missed your appointment. I know. I'm sorry. Something came up. Where are you right now? At home. Why? Stay there. We are sending officers to pick you up. We have reason to believe you're in danger. Inspector, I can't. This isn't a request, Mr. Adeyemi. We have intelligence that suggests you're a target. You'll be safer in our custody until we can sort this out. The line went dead. Tunde looked at Kemi. They are coming for me. Then we leave. Now. They grabbed what they needed, the thumb drive, Tunde's laptop, some cash from the bag, and ran. Out of his apartment, down the street, into the chaos of Yoba in the afternoon. They flagged down an Okada, the motorcycle weaving through traffic with practiced ease, taking them toward Ikeja. Behind them, Tunde thought he saw a black SUV. Thought he saw it following. But in Lagos traffic, it was impossible to tell threats from coincidence. Everything felt like danger. Every car, every face in the crowd, every ringing phone. They switched vehicles 3 times, Okada to Danfo to another Okada, making sure they weren't followed. By the time they reached Yellow Chili restaurant, it was 1:45 p.m. Early, but safer to wait inside than on the street. The restaurant was busy with the lunch crowd, business people, families, couples. Normal people living normal lives, unaware that 2 frightened people at a corner table were carrying evidence that could topple a criminal empire. 82 p.m. exactly, a woman approached their table. Mid-30s, wearing jeans and a blazer, carrying a worn leather bag. She had the tired eyes of someone who'd seen too much of Lagos's ugly underbelly. Tunde Adeyemi. That's me. This is Kemi, my fiancé. Neoma Okafor sat down without ceremony. Show me what you have. Tunde pulled out the laptop, angled it so only they could see the screen, and opened the files. Neoma's eyes widened as she scrolled through spreadsheets, clicked on videos, read through documents. Jesus, she breathed. This is everything. Account numbers, routing information, names of accomplices, evidence of money laundering through 12 different countries. Do you understand what you have here? Enough to bring them down. Enough to bring down half the Yahoo boys in Lagos. Maybe more. She looked up at them. This goes public tonight. I need a few hours to verify some of this information, cross-reference with my sources, but by 8 p.m., this will be live on Premium Times website. By 9 p.m., every newsroom in Nigeria will have it. By morning, it will be international news. And us? Kemi asked. What happens to us? You become famous. Heroes or targets, depending on who you ask. The EFCC will want to debrief you. The syndicate will want you dead. My advice? Go to the EFCC headquarters right now. Ask for protective custody. Once the story breaks, you'll be too high profile to kill quietly. What about Grace? Tunde asked. The woman who gave me this. If she's smart, she's already in EFCC custody. If not. Neoma shrugged. This is Lagos. Smart doesn't always mean safe. She copied the files to her own encrypted drive, then looked at them seriously. Thank you. For doing the right thing. Not many people would. We didn't have much choice, Tunde said. Everyone has a choice. You chose not to run. Not to hide. Not to pretend you didn't see. That matters. They left the restaurant together, Neoma heading to her office to work on the story, Tunde and Kemi flagging down a taxi to take them to the EFCC headquarters in Ikoyi. The traffic was murder, typical Lagos gridlock, giving them time to think, to process, to hold hands in the backseat like the world wasn't about to explode around them. You know this changes everything, Kemi said quietly. I know. We can't just go back to normal. To your kiosk and my classroom on Sunday dinners with my parents. I know. But we are alive. And we are together. And we did something that mattered. Tunde kissed her forehead. Yeah. We did. They were 10 minutes from the EFCC building when Tunde's phone rang. Unknown number. Against his better judgment, he answered. Hello. Mr. Adeyemi. The voice was different from before. Older. Calmer. More dangerous. This is Chairman. I believe you have something of mine. Tunde's blood went cold. I don't know what you're talking about. Please. Let's not insult each other's intelligence. Grace gave you the drive. You've been running all day. And now you're heading to EFCC headquarters, thinking they can protect you. They can't. I have people everywhere. Then you're too late. I've already given the evidence to a journalist. It goes public in 6 hours. Silence. Then, I see. That was unfortunate. For all of us. It's over. Turn yourself in. Maybe you can cut a deal, oh, Mr. Adeyemi. It's not over. It's never over. You think one news story will stop this? We are a hydra. Cut off one head, 2 more grow back. We've been doing this for 20 years. We'll be doing it 20 years from now. Not if I can help it. How noble. How naive. Tell me, does your Kemi know that her parents have a mortgage on their house in Surulere? Does she know that her little brother, the one studying computer science at University of Lagos, sometimes struggles to pay his fees? It would be terrible if something happened. If they found themselves in financial trouble. Or worse. Tunde felt Kemi tense beside him. She'd heard. The phone was loud enough in the quiet taxi. You touched them, Tunde said, his voice steady despite the terror coursing through him, and I swear to God, you're what? You've already played your only card. The evidence is public soon. But I'm still here. Still free. Still running my business. And I have a very long memory, Mr. Adeyemi. A very long memory. The line went dead. Kemi was crying silently, her hand pressed to her mouth. Tunde held her, his mind racing. Chairman was right. The evidence would expose the operation, would lead to arrests, maybe even convictions. But men like him didn't just disappear. They had lawyers, connections, backup plans. And now Tunde had made an enemy who knew everything about him. Everything about the people he loved. The taxi pulled up to the EFCC building, a modern glass structure that looked more like a corporate office than a law enforcement headquarters. Tunde paid the driver, and they walked inside, their steps heavy with the weight of what they'd done and what it might cost. Inspector Okonkwo was waiting for them in the lobby. He was younger than Tunde expected, maybe mid-40s, with graying temples and the weary look of a man who'd fought too many losing battles against corruption. Mr. Adeyemi. Miss Kemi. Thank you for coming. We have a lot to discuss. They were led to a conference room on the 3rd floor, given bottles of water, told to sit and wait. Through the windows, Tunde could see Lagos sprawling in every direction, millions of people living, working, hustling, surviving. His city. His home. The place that had given him everything and was now threatening to take it all away. The door opened. Inspector Okonkwo entered with 2 other officers and, to Tunde's shock, Grace Adinka. She looked different now. Exhausted, her expensive braids replaced by a simple ponytail, no makeup, wearing clothes that looked borrowed. But alive. She was alive. Grace, Tunde said. Tunde. Kemi. She nodded to them both. I'm sorry. For dragging you into this. A bit late for sorry, Kemi said coldly. I know. But I want you to understand. I didn't have a choice. Chairman had my sister. Threatened to kill her if I didn't run his accounts. I did it for 2 years, hating myself every day, watching us destroy people's lives. Old people saving for retirement. Single mothers trying to build something. Students hoping to study abroad. We took everything from them. So why not just go to the police? Tunde asked. Because half of them are on his payroll. I needed proof. Real proof. And I needed someone outside the system to make sure it got public if something happened to me. She looked at Inspector Okonkwo. Turns out, not everyone in the commission is corrupt. Just enough to make it dangerous. Okonkwo spoke up. Ms. Adinke came to us 3 weeks ago with preliminary information. We've been building a case, but we needed the full evidence. The files on that drive, they are what we need to move forward with arrests. Multiple arrests. Not just the foot soldiers, but the people at the top. Including chairman. Tunde asked. We are working on it. He's careful. Uses proxies, shell companies, stays in the shadows. But with this evidence, we can start unraveling his network. It won't be quick. It won't be easy. But it's a start. He called me, Tunde said. 30 minutes ago. Threatened Kemi's family. Okonkwo's expression hardened. What did he say exactly? Tunde repeated the conversation. The inspector took notes, then exchanged looks with his colleagues. We'll put surveillance on your family members, Miss Kemi. Round-the-clock protection until we have chairman in custody. As for you two, I'm recommending witness protection. New identities, relocation to another state. No, Kemi said firmly. We are not running. We are not hiding. We live in Lagos. We work in Lagos. We are not letting these criminals chase us out of our own city. Miss Kemi, I understand your feelings, but no, you don't. She stood up, her voice rising. I've watched this country my whole life. Watched criminals get rich while good people suffer. Watched corruption spread like a disease while everyone just accepts it as normal. No Nigeria we dey, right? This is how things work here. Well, maybe it's time things work differently. Maybe it's time people stopped running and started fighting back. The room fell silent. Even the hardened officer seemed moved by her passion. Tunde reached for her hand, squeezed it. We stay, he said to Okonkwo. But we need protection. Real protection. Not just for us, but for everyone we care about. Okonkwo nodded slowly. I can arrange that. Safe houses, security details. But you need to understand, once the article goes live tonight, you become public figures. Your faces will be everywhere. People will recognize you. Some will call you heroes. Others will call you traitors, snitches, people who brought down brothers just trying to hustle. The court of public opinion in Lagos is brutal. Let them talk, Tunde said. As long as they're talking, we are alive. Grace spoke up, her voice quiet. There's something else you should know. The drive doesn't just have evidence about the fraud operation. It has names. Politicians who took campaign money from laundered funds. Business owners who knowingly provided cover. Banks that looked the other way. This goes deeper than Yahoo boys scamming white people. This is about the system that allows it to happen. Which means more enemies, one of the other officers said grimly. Which means more reasons to get it right, Okonkwo countered. He turned to Grace. You're sure about testifying? Once you're on that stand, there's no taking it back. I'm sure. I've been sure since the day they made me watch them threaten my sister. I'm done being afraid. Tunde's phone buzzed. A message from Neoma Okafor, story is ready. Publishing in 1 hour. Get somewhere safe. 1 hour. In 1 hour, everything would change. Inspector, Tunde said, we need to call Kemi's parents. Warn them. Get them somewhere secure before the story breaks. Okonkwo nodded to one of his officers, who left the room to make arrangements. Then he looked at Tunde and Kemi seriously. I want you both to understand what you've done here. This case, it's going to be the biggest fraud investigation in Nigerian history. Hundreds of millions of naira, thousands of victims, suspects across multiple continents. It will take years to fully prosecute. You'll be witnesses in trials, dealing with media attention, facing threats. Your lives will never be the same. They were never going to be the same anyway, Tunde said. Not after that woman walked into my kiosk. At least this way, we get to choose what they become. By 8:15 p.m., the story had exploded across the internet. Premium time servers temporarily crashed from the traffic. Within minutes, other news outlets picked it up. By 8:30, Tunde's phone was ringing non-stop, calls from journalists, old friends, people from his neighborhood wanting to know if it was really him. He turned off his phone. They were in a safe house in Victoria Island now, a modest apartment that the EFCC used for protected witnesses. Kemi's parents and her brother were in another safe house across town, angry and confused but alive. Grace was in a third location. The commission wasn't taking any chances. Through the window, Tunde could see the Lagos skyline glittering with lights. Somewhere out there, Chairman was reading the same story, seeing his empire crumble in real time, planning his next move. Somewhere out there, criminals were wiping hard drives, closing accounts, destroying evidence. And somewhere out there, victims were reading about the people who'd stolen their money and finally understanding what had happened to them. Kemi leaned against his shoulder, exhausted. Do you think we did the right thing? I don't know, Tunde admitted. But I think it was the only thing. My mother cried on the phone. Said we were foolish. Said we should have just given the money back and stayed out of it. Maybe she's right. Maybe. But I look at you, and I think, This is who I want to build a life with. Someone who does the hard thing, the scary thing, the right thing. Tunde kissed the top of her head. Even if the right thing gets us killed. Even then. There was a knock at the door. Both of them jumped. Okonkwo entered, his expression unreadable. "We've made arrests," he said. 17 people so far, including 2 executives at banks that were facilitating transfers. More arrests expected tomorrow. And we have a lead on chairman's location. There's a compound in Oja. Private security, high walls. We are preparing a raid for tomorrow morning. Will you get him? Kemi asked. If he's there, yes. If not, we keep looking. And us? You stay here for now. Maybe a week, maybe longer. Until we are confident the immediate threat has passed. He paused. I should tell you, the response to the story has been overwhelming. Social media is on fire. Some people are calling you heroes. Others are saying you betrayed your own people, helped the government oppress young entrepreneurs. It's messy. This is Nigeria, Tunde said. Everything is messy. Okonkwo smiled, the first smile Tunde had seen from him. True. But maybe that's changing. Stories like this, people like you, they remind others that not everyone accepts the mess as permanent. After he left, Tunde and Kemi sat in the living room of their temporary home, watching news coverage on a borrowed laptop. Reporters stood outside the EFCC building. Analysts debated the case on television. Someone had found Tunde's Facebook profile and was sharing his photos online. We are famous, Kemi said, half laughing, half horrified. Infamous. Is there a difference? Not in Lagos. She turned to face him. Tunde, what do we do after this? When we can finally leave this safe house and go back to real life? Your kiosk is probably destroyed. My school might not want the publicity. Everything we built again. Differently this time. Better, maybe. How? He thought about it. About Grace, who had spent 2 years trapped in a criminal operation before finding the courage to fight back. About the victims whose life savings had been stolen. About the system that enabled it all. About ordinary people who just wanted to survive in a city that made survival feel like a luxury. I don't know exactly, he finally said. But I think, maybe we start by telling our story. Really telling it. Not just the crime stuff, but everything. What it's like to be young in Lagos. The pressure to succeed. The temptation of quick money. The way good people get pushed into bad choices. Maybe if people understand how this happens, they can fight it. You want to write a book? Maybe. Or talk to schools. Or help the EFCC with education campaigns. Something. Because I keep thinking about all those people who get scammed every day. And all the young guys who become scammers because they don't see another way. If we can break that cycle somehow, Kemi smiled. You know what I love about you? You almost got killed today, and you're already planning how to save the world. Not the world. Just our corner of it. They fell asleep on the couch, the laptop still glowing with news coverage, the sounds of Legos drifting through the windows, car horns, generators humming, music from a distant party, someone shouting into a phone, or the chaotic symphony of a city that never truly slept. The raid happened at dawn. Tunde and Kemi watched the news coverage from the safe house, holding hands so tightly their fingers went numb. EFCC officers, backed by police tactical units, stormed the compound in Oja. There was resistance, gunfire, tear gas, chaos broadcast live on NTA. When the smoke cleared, 18 people were in custody, but Chairman wasn't among them. He knew, Okonkwo told them later that morning, his frustration evident. Someone tipped him off. He was gone before we arrived. We found evidence he'd been there, documents, computers, money. But the man himself disappeared. So he's still out there, Kemi said. For now. But he's wounded. His network is in pieces. His money is frozen. His face is all over the news. He can't move freely anymore. Can't operate the way he used to. That's something. Is it enough? Tunde asked. It has to be. Because it's what we have. Over the following days, the story continued to develop. More arrests. More revelations. Politicians denied involvement. Banks issued statements. Victims came forward, some angry, some grateful, all traumatized by what they'd lost, and through it all, Tunde and Kemi remained in the safe house, watching their lives become public property, watching Nigeria grapple with questions it had been avoiding for years. On the fifth day, Grace was brought to visit them. She looked healthier now, less haunted, though her eyes still carried the weight of everything she'd done and seen. My sister is safe, she told them. They moved her to Ghana. She's starting over there. Away from all this. And you? Kemi asked. I'll testify. Face whatever punishment comes. But at least I'll do it knowing I tried to make it right. She looked at Tunde. I've been thinking about what you said. In your interview. About breaking the cycle. You saw that. Everyone saw it. You're all over social media. The POS guy who took down Yahoo Boys. There are memes. Tunde groaned. Kemi laughed. But you were right, Grace continued. About the system. About how we all got trapped in it. I was a good student once. Had dreams of being an accountant, working for a real company. But after university, no jobs. No opportunities. Just survival. And then someone offered me a way to make money, and I told myself it was just for a while. Just until things got better. But things never got better, Kemi said softly. No. They got worse. Because once you're in, they don't let you out. You know too much. You're too valuable. And eventually, you forget there was ever another way to live. She wiped her eyes. I'm telling you this because I want you to understand. The people you've exposed, most of them aren't monsters. They're just people who made bad choices in a system that doesn't give them good ones. That doesn't excuse what they did, Tunde said. No. It doesn't. But maybe it explains it. And maybe if we can fix the system, we can stop the next generation from making the same choices. After she left, Tunde and Kemi sat quietly, processing her words. She's right, you know, Kemi said. About the system. I see it every day in my classroom. Smart kids with no future. Talented students who can't afford university. And they look at me and think, why should I struggle for 20 years to maybe make a decent salary when I can make millions scamming Americans? So what do? We tell the truth. All of it. Not just the crime story, but the human story. And we hope someone listens. 2 weeks after the article broke, the EFCC cleared Tunde and Kemi to leave the safe house. Chairman was still at large, but intelligence suggested he'd fled to Dubai. The immediate danger had passed. They went back to Yoba, to Tunde's apartment. Someone had spray-painted "snitch" on his door. Someone else had left flowers with a note, "Thank you for your courage." His kiosk in Computer Village had been vandalized, the equipment stolen. But Biodon, the shop owner next door, had set up a GoFundMe that had raised 2 million naira for repairs. We take care of our own, Biodon said when Tunde tried to thank him. Even when our own does something crazy. Kemi's school welcomed her back with mixed reactions. Some teachers praised her bravery. Others whispered that she'd brought shame to the profession. Her principal, a stern woman named Mrs. Adebayo, called her into the office. You understand that your actions have created complications, Mrs. Adebayo said. I understand. Parents are worried. About safety. About the school's reputation. I understand that too. Mrs. Adebayo studied her for a long moment. Then she smiled, a rare sight. I also understand that you did what many of us wish we had the courage to do. You're a good teacher, Kemi. Your students need you. Don't let the noise change that. Life slowly returned to something resembling normal. Tunde rebuilt his kiosk. Kemi returned to her classroom. They began planning their wedding, a smaller affair than they'd originally imagined, but no less meaningful. The trials began. Grace testified. Others followed. The legal process was slow, frustrating, subject to the usual Nigerian delays and complications. But it moved forward, and Tunde and Kemi did what they said they would. They told their story. To journalists. To students. To anyone who would listen. Not as heroes, but as ordinary people who'd been forced to make extraordinary choices. 6 months after that Thursday afternoon when Grace dropped a bag of money on his counter, Tunde received a call from an unknown number. His heart still jumped when that happened, probably always would. Hello. Mr. Adeyemi. This is Special Agent Williams from the FBI. We are coordinating with the EFCC on the chairman case. I wanted to inform you that we've located him in Dubai. Extradition proceedings are underway. We expect to have him in custody within 30 days. Tunde sat down heavily. You found him. We found him. Thanks in no small part to the evidence you preserved. I know this has been a difficult journey for you and Miss Kemi. But I want you to know, what you did matters. The investigation you sparked has expanded across 4 continents. We've identified and frozen over $400 million in fraudulent funds. We've made 127 arrests. And we've begun returning money to victims. After the call, Tunde walked to Kemi's school. Waited outside until her last class finished. Saw her emerge with a stack of workbooks, still in teaching mode, explaining something to a student who'd stayed after. When she saw him, her face lit up. That smile. After everything, that smile. They found him, Tunde said. Chairman. They are bringing him back. She dropped the workbooks and threw her arms around him, right there on the street, not caring who saw. It's really over. Yeah. It's really over. They stood there, holding each other, as Lagos moved around them, Okadas weaving through traffic, hawkers selling their wares, music blasting from somewhere, the eternal hustle and flow of the city that had made them and tested them and somehow let them survive. So what now? Kemi asked. Now we get married. Now we build our lives. Now we try to make this city a little bit better than we found it. That's a big job. Good thing we're not doing it alone. They walked home hand in hand, through streets they knew by heart, past familiar faces and familiar places, to ordinary people who'd done one extraordinary thing and lived to tell about it. The city swallowed them back into its rhythm, and life went on, but something had changed. Not everything. Not dramatically. But enough that the next time someone found themselves facing an impossible choice between right and easy, they might remember the POS guy from Computer Village who chose right. Tunde and Kemi found their way out of nothing, built something different in their world, got wedded, set a good example for everyone around them. If you love this story, please like, comment and subscribe to our channel. Am dropping another video soon.